I've been in ServiceNow platform for more than 5 years as of now. So to get you started, so you guys have experience on anything in ServiceNow regarding CMDB or ITSM or anything in that?
Yeah, Anand. So I've been working for past 12 years, but last couple of years I've been working with ServiceNow.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me also, like I'm having an IT experience from past more than 12 years, but for this discovery and service now working from past 1 year.
Okay. Okay. Great. Great. Okay. So as you know, the platform, we already have a lot of things in platform like ITSM and then ITOM and then ITBM, and a lot of things are coming into picture as of now. So to give you a glimpse of Discovery, Discovery is available from early versions of this ServiceNow release, that is from Aspian and all that. And as of now, the Discovery is very highly advanced, that it and orchestration altogether is actually automating the ServiceNow CI creation and discovery of them hand to hand. So that is where it starts with. So as you all know, like CMDB is the core of ServiceNow, and to populate CMDB, we have a couple of mechanisms. So one of that being the discovery. We have a discovery with ServiceNow itself that is called ServiceNow Discovery, and we also have other discovery agents such as BMC Discovery or anything like that. Okay. So in the similar way, we also have other things called as SCCM, and apart from that, we have a lot of many other clients that offer us to do sort of discovery. Okay. When you say discovery, we have two different types of discovery in the basic stuff. One is the targeted discovery, other one is the non-targeted discovery.
Anand?
Yeah.
Are you sharing your screen? I'm just.
No. As of now, I'm not sharing it. I'm not sharing my screen, since this is just an introduction that I'm giving you regarding discovery. So
Sure.
after that, yeah. Okay. Okay. So we have two types of discovery. One is the targeted discovery, and other one is the non-targeted discovery. Okay. So targeted discovery comes into picture when we know the device that we are going to discover. That is called as targeted discovery. For example, if you know that this particular server is there and you know the IP address of it and you know the host name of it and you want to discover it, then it is called a targeted discovery, since you already know that device. Okay. Non-targeted discovery means like you don't know the actual devices, but you know some sort of ranges within the your enterprise network. Okay, and you configure that particular range in your service now and you do the discovery. So this is the targeted and non-targeted discovery. Okay, and we also have one more classification which is called as the agent and agentless discovery. Okay, agent means like you need some sort of a client to be installed on the target device. Okay, so target device is the device that you are going to discover. Okay, and ServiceNow is a agentless discovery. Okay, so just to give up a whole thing about the discovery and to start with ServiceNow discovery, I'm just telling you all this. ServiceNow is it's an agentless discovery. Yep, please.
Anand, for the so what about the BMC? Is agentless or agent?
I've not worked in BMC projects, but I guess it is a agent is there because we have some sort of agent that is installed on the target device, and it gets the details and sends back to us. That is what I know, but I've not worked on the Remedy products.
Okay, and you said like for this discoveries we'll have a two. Before that you said it is like a target device. If we knows, then we can discover, and the one is like without knowing that it has to run the discovery.
Yes. Yeah.
So if it will run the discovery, so it will be fetching a data from anywhere, like any like on what are the like it will spread some protocols or something to be fetching the data, or how it will collect the data.
Yeah. I will tell you in detail about all those stuff. Okay.
Okay.
So just to give you like what are the mechanisms, or let's say that the go-to way to find the devices via discovery, I'm just telling you as of now, because we have a lot of discovery products, like one is ServiceNow, other one is the Remedy, and we have a lot of things that is there. Okay, so we have a lot of detailed process mechanisms in ServiceNow which will identify each type of device based upon the classification and all that stuff. We have not even got in the starting of discovery training. This is just the gradual introduction that I'm giving you regarding the product.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So these are the four major types. One is the agent and agentless. Other one is the targeted and non-targeted. So ServiceNow Discovery is agentless, which means that you don't need any sort of a client to be installed in the server. Okay. So whatever you just run, let's say that you're going to run a discovery, it will automatically get everything. So I'm just sharing my screen now.
So I have a question on it.
Yeah.
So I know we understand the difference between agent and agentless. So is there any pros and cons like for one and the other, like advantages and disadvantages? Like which one is better? Like agentless is better. There must be some disadvantages of agentless. You know, something.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So okay, to go with the pros and cons, we have advantages and disadvantages in each and every one. Okay, so we have to know which suits which sort of organization, and we have to take a better decision on that. Okay, to give you a better comparison, I can say, like, let's say that ServiceNow is going to be ServiceNow is a cloud product, right? We don't have anything installed in our premise. So though ServiceNow provides it, most people go for the cloud. Okay, and this is in a cloud, and your whole enterprise network is going to be on premise that you are going to install. Okay, if you have to have a lot of security and all that stuff, then in that case, and you want to, let's say, discover each and every attribute of what you want, right? In that case, you can go with the agent based. And moreover, if you are using a ServiceNow specifically, and if you are going for agent based, ServiceNow doesn't provide that option.
ServiceNow doesn't provide the agent-based option, right?
Yeah.
So basically, then we have to go for a different tool, which is agent-based.
Yeah. So
Okay.
we have a concept called as a mid-server in ServiceNow.
Yeah.
Okay. So that takes care of all the activities and all that stuff, which the agent should actually be doing. But agent is something that will be installed on the target device. Let's say that if you want to get the complete details about a server, okay. And what actually does in a Remedy product is you will just give the discovery command, and the discovery servers, which is Remedy is using a lot of servers, and what it will do is it will not directly go and discover like ServiceNow does. It will just send that I want the details from this particular server to that server, and the client that is installed on that server will do all the job and will give back to the intermittent server, and that will be again giving to the ServiceNow or the other ITSM tool, whatever you're having. But what happens in ServiceNow is, yeah, this is agent. Okay, what happens in ServiceNow is there is no real sort of consolidation of data that is done in the actual target server. So okay, I'll just share my screen and I'll just tell you regarding that.
Sure.
Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So this is my personal developer instance. Okay. And we have to activate the discovery plugin. So what we have to do is we have to come to our instance, and we have to activate the plugin here. Activate the plugin, and you can find a list of plugins here as well. So discovery is there on top, and you can activate it. Once you activate it, you'll get the discovery enabled in your instance. Okay.
Right.
So once you do that, you can have everything here. So these are the so since everyone is familiar with ServiceNow tool, I'm not going to demo regarding this interface and all that stuff. We have the discovery module here, application here, and we have the related modules in the below section. Okay. And let me also open wiki side by side. Okay, let this be. Okay, so Vipin, so to answer your question, right, ServiceNow uses a agentless discovery, and if you are using a ServiceNow product, the recommended most recommended thing is to go with the ServiceNow discovery itself, because it has a lot of advantages, because it's from the same product, in the same, it is developed in the same platform, and also like we have a lot of interrelated processes that is running with respect to the discovery. If you are using a let's say a different product for the ServiceNow, then you have to do a lot of customizations with respect to how your ServiceNow CMDB is implemented to prevent duplicates or let's say relationships and all that stuff. Okay, so that is the main thing. So just a general thing between the agent and agentless is it's with respect to the what the organization is expecting and their thing. Okay. Okay. So to start with discovery, we have all these modules which says quick start, dashboard, discovery schedules, status, credentials, discovery range sets, mid servers, tracked configuration files, etc. So many of the recent version of discovery has a lot of advanced things. Okay. So let's start with the basics as of now. So in an enterprise service network, we have different set of domains. So each and every domain has its own variations. Let's say that you're going to log in with something called as organization A BU1 / your login name, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in that case,
like usually,
yeah.
There is global, there, fine, something like that, right? Global domain.
Actually, your voice is not audible, Vipin, probably.
Sorry, you're talking about like those domains which is like Maple, Pine, sometimes like, you know, or global domain.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not talking about the ServiceNow domains. I'm talking about your organization domains. For example, let's say that you're going to work in organization A. Okay, so to log into your organization, you'll be using a thing called as organization A, that is the domain name / username, right?
Right.
So that is what I'm talking about. So there will be a lot of different domains. Okay.
Okay.
And we need for any discovery to perform, we need the user credentials to log into that target device, right? So we have to know which domain that target belongs to and the username and password. Okay. So everyone is clear with this, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this is the main thing, and we set all the credentials in the credentials module here. Okay.
Yeah.
So for example, we are going to, let's say that we are going to create a new credential. Okay, and we have a lot of credential types here. So whatever we require, we can do it. For example, let's say that I want to do a SSH credential. And I'll tell you regarding a lot of different things like SNMP, SSH, all that stuff. Just I want to give a demo regarding the credentials. Then we'll do a deep dive as well. Okay?
Sure.
You can give a credential name, like whatever you want, and then you can give the username and password. Okay. So the username should be like domain name / username. For example, let's say that your domain is going to be in your organization. This particular server is installed in an enterprise domain. Enterprise / username and its credentials. Okay. So we have this password field, which actually is a sort of an encrypted field. So there is no sort of security constraint here. So what happens is in some places, the server team will not give the credentials directly to you. They want full control over the credentials that is being used, so they can come and enter here directly, so that it will not be visible to anyone and no one can get it. Okay.
So do you provide access to Hello, am I visible? Am I audible?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you provide? So in this case, you're gonna provide access to this particular module to those people, or they, you know?
Okay. So the way how this thing works is the credentials. Once we set up here, we have to do a lot of more configurations as well. Okay.
Okay.
So this particular thing is like, let's say that to get the, so okay. So just let me open the CMDB quickly. Okay, so we are having all these things here, right? So let us say that this particular device, okay. So this particular device we have to discover, okay. So whenever we have a CMDB, we have two different types of things. One is technical and non-technical fields, okay. So technical fields can be obtained from the discovery. So um, this credential is actually the user account used to log in to this particular server in your organization. So once it authenticates into the instance, into this target server, it can get the details from that server and come and update our CMDB, and it will populate all these fields. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Does this answer your question, Vipin?
Yeah. I mean, okay.
So Anand, suppose like where I'm working an organization, they didn't want to share this password credentials, and they used CyberArk. Because I think they told like a CyberArk will be they will generate as a mechanism of logical way some encrypted passwords, and that passwords they will share to us, or they will keep on the service now, and which will use for authentication. So did you have that idea about the CyberArk or something?
No, Anil, I have not heard of CyberArk, but even if it is going to be a token-based authentication or something, that can be done with the help of integrations.
Okay, so we have to be we have to do this part like a CyberArk token authentication, or the team the other team will be there for this type of doing the functionality.
Yeah. So do you have a ServiceNow team with in your organization?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so I think you can get a check with them regarding how they can get this from the CyberArk. There should be some sort of integration that is available. So once they get it from there, you can fetch it from there, and you can run a discovery.
Okay.
So I'm not sure of the underlying architecture, how your organization that ZeroArk is being defined, but I think it should be possible, because we have a lot of integrations in ServiceNow that can get the passwords and all that stuff from CyberArk, and it can do it.
Okay.
Okay.
And Anant, like if you can go to the back to this Windows servers,
Okay.
like credentials. So their Windows servers is there. Suppose if we have a multiple domains, so multiple domains. So but here the Windows server only one option is there. But if the domains will have a multiple domains, so the domain name and slash usernames are different for different domains. So how can we need to define? We need to create a new credentials parameter over there, or how we can multiple domains we can add it.
Exactly. That is what we have to do. So this is one particular domain I have configured. Okay. So if you want to have more domains, you can go to the credential. And you can enter more things. Okay. Okay, so this is this is what you're asking, right?
Yes. And what about this order number? Like it will be the setting as a preference for the to when the discovery jobs will run. It will go with this preference order.
So you don't have to worry about this order much, because this we have a lot of backend correlations between the order and all that stuff. For example, let's say that you're going to have 3,000 or 4,000 servers, okay, and you're going to have 5 to 6 credentials. So ServiceNow in the backend will establish affinity between which server is running which credential from which mid server and at what speed. Okay, so the one which it says that it is the most fastest thing and it connects and it discovers automatically, it will establish the affinity with this order and with the credential types and all that stuff. So that's what will be happening. And this order is basically the order that will be displayed in the credential list. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So any one of you have any questions as of now?
So
Generally, like in an organization, there are like 3,000 servers, let's say.
Okay.
So for these servers, you won't be entering an username and password for each and every one, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So like and if they are like, so how does that work? Like usually there's only one username which works on multiple servers, one username and password.
Yes. Yes. So we have a lot of permissions with respect to credentials as well. So all the technical fields that you are seeing here, right? Some can be obtained directly from a single command, and some request pseudo privileges to run on that server. And everything is available in the wiki, like which credential require which sort of permission. Okay. For example, a Windows server requires local admin privileges to discover and update all the technical fields. And generally, the thing what we follow for all the discovery with respect to Windows, Unix, Linux, and all this is to have a particular username and password. For Windows, maybe you can use it as a class-wise thing that in your organization if you're having it. So what is generally preferred is for all the Windows servers, we'll be having one username, and that will be added to the AD local account, so that it will be available across all the Windows servers.
got it.
So that is how it works. And if you're having multiple different domains, you can just configure one username for one domain. Okay, let's say that you're going to have 5 domains. For all the 5 domains, you can create one username, like domain A, this username, domain B, this username, and you can have credentials, and you can enter all those things here, so that across each domain, how many servers are there can be discovered with one credential for that particular domain.
Got it. And that credential will have a local admin, like based on
Yes,
the
yes.
ServiceNow list. Okay.
Exactly. Yep. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So the credential is one of the main things to start with discovery. So once you set up the credentials, we get the discovery process. Okay. So in discovery, we have 4 basic phases, which we call as the execution plan of discovery. Okay. So the first phase is the Shazam phase. Shazam is nothing but port scanning. Okay. So whenever you give a discovery IP address, it will first scan that particular IP and it will get the results and see if that particular device is active and it is able to ping it or something like that. And you'll see that it's basically that server is reachable. That is what the first phase is, Shazam phase. Okay. The next phase is classification phase. In the classification phase, we once the discovery is able to find out that that particular device is active and it is responding, then it will go to the classification phase. In the classification phase, it will see if it is a Windows server or a Unix server or a Solaris server and all that stuff. And that is being done based on the response it is getting from the server. Okay, if it is going to be a Windows server, the port that will be responsive is 135. Okay.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Okay, fine. So we have different port numbers for different types of servers. Okay.
Okay.
So, okay, let me just show you the wiki article. Okay, so here you're able to see, right?
Yeah.
For Windows, it is 135. Okay. Similarly, for SSH, you will be seeing 95 or something. Just see.
So this list we have to follow it like hardcore. We have to be like follow this always, or the company may not open 22 port for SSH or something else, some other port.
Yeah, so this is how the ServiceNow is actually defined and it works. Okay. So if you feel that, let's say, that this particular device is actually forcefully not working in this 22 port, then we have to configure it accordingly. I'll show you all that stuff.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so this is the second phase, that is the classification phase, which classifies which sort of server and all that stuff is. In 95% of the cases, there will not be a thing where the port is going to be changed. Only with the 5% remaining, which is going to be inside a DMZ or a very secured sort of server, they would have done that. And for various other types of purposes. Yeah.
So Anant, you said that it will classify based on port number, like it will see if the port 135 is open, then that means it's a Windows server, something like that.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and if the port 22 is open, then SSH is this is SSH, something
exactly.
Like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is how the service mapping and all that stuff is done, and that is the classification phase. And then we have the identification phase. Okay.
And like a SIJAM phase, the first phase, you said like it will discover the devices. So it will hit to the which number, which port numbers to discover the devices for SIJAM phase?
Okay. In the SHAZAM phase, it will not try to hit any port. It will just see if the device is active. It is just like a ping. If the device is online.
So ping 6, port number 6 for the ping, it will trying to hit for the ping request. If it is getting a reply, so then it will start discovering the device.
Yeah. So basically, it's just says that it will see like which port, if the server is available in any of the port. That is what it will see in the first thing. If it is response, if we are getting a response from the server, I'll show you the discovery process how it goes. Okay, I've set up a local MIT server as well to show you at the end of the session today, so that you'll get a better idea of how it is showing, and you can ask me questions from that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So this is the SHAZAM phase, classification phase, and then we have the identification phase. In the identification phase, it will see if it is getting the results that is matching in the CMDB. Okay. So for example, this particular server is there, right? So for this particular server, we are getting, let's say, a serial number and a couple of things. So it will try to match that with our CMDB to see if there is anything that is there.
So I'll just stop you here. Like, so we are still doing discovery. This Windows Server record which you are showing is still not existing in our CMDB yet. So the first step is to find out like, okay, what all devices are existing, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, how would it match like when this recorded which you're showing is not existing right now in ServiceNow?
Exactly. So we are having a matrix sort of stuff which has an identification rule associated with it. Okay. For example, let's say that the main condition for a Windows server is going to be like a let's say serial number, manufacturer or serial number type, and all that stuff that is configured. It will try to see the CMDB and match the exact stuff. Okay. If there is no match available, then the discovery will decide that it is going to be a new record and it will create the record.
And okay, so for the first step, there is no record. So that means if it founds a record, it will insert a record.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So if the no match is found or not, then it will insert. If the match is found, if it's already in this in CMDB it's existing, it will update the record. Okay.
Exactly. Correct. So that is what it will do. And if it is finding multiple matches, then it will not do anything. It will say like multiple matches found, unable to update, because it gets into ambiguous state and it doesn't know which one to update.
Got it.
Okay. So these are the three things that will be happening with respect to the identification. And once the identification phase is done, we have a phase called as exploration phase. So once the identification is done, in the exploration phase, it will send additional commands to run on the target server and get the details and come and update in the CMDB. Okay.
Okay.
So these are the four phases in discovery. So yeah.
So one thing, for classification phase, you said like SSH, if it is hitting to the 22 ports, and for the SSH, it will try to recognize it belongs to which classification. Either it will be Linux, because Linux normally will be using 22 ports, but network devices also will use by 22 port for SSH communication. So how it will differentiate is that the box is Unix classified box, or the box is network?
So for the network boxes, we have SNMP.
Some devices, network devices, will use SSH public key and private key for communication.
Okay, if in the case you are having in such cases, and it is going to be on port number 22, and if it is going to be network box, it will see like which, let's say that it's going to be network server or something like that, right? Then in that case, it will create two different entries probably. It will create as a main entry in the server table and a network component additionally as a relationship in the network table.
Okay.
It depends on what the discovery is identifying at that particular point of time.
So Anant, I wasn't able to understand the question.
So okay, basically what he was, what I understood from his query is like he says that a few set of network devices are actually running from a Linux OS and all that stuff. That is what you're trying to ask, right?
Like most of the network devices will use the both the credentials, either for the SSH or SNMP. So that is up to the network team will decide, like is the network devices will be monitoring or discover as SSH or SNMP. So if it is SSH, so SSH will use by the Linux as well as for the network devices. So how identification phase will comes to know, like is this device hitting to the 22 port is the network device or Linux box?
So basically, whenever there is going to be port number 22, it is going to be Linux box. It is SSH, okay? And for SNMP, though they would have configured their own stuff, we have something called as a community string, okay? So community string is a type of a credential that is particularly only for the network devices, that is the SNMP. And when we say network devices, we generally in ServiceNow, we say switches and routers, that is discoverable. Okay.
Now for Linux system also we can enable SNMP.
Sorry?
Linux devices also we can for Linux also, if we can enable the SNMP, there's no need for SSH. We can monitor Linux servers also using SNMP.
I'm not sure of whatever you're telling. Can you give me a sort of a document or something that which you're referring to? Because we in ServiceNow we have this credential types in which, and the discovery runs based upon that particular thing. And if it is going to be like a hybrid device or something like which you are telling, then we may have to go with custom development to handle that sort of.
Okay.
Which we will do later, right? There is a custom. There is a
Yeah,
custom
that's
development, which we will do later, right?
yeah, so we will be covering that. And since that require the real-time objects, right? I'll be showing you with my particular example that whatever I'm having it. And we can go, and that is the same basic thing that can be applied to anything. The development will be shown.
Sure.
Okay. Okay. Now we'll walk through the modules here. So we have all these modules, and basically the most of the thing that we'll be using in discovery is the discovery schedule. Okay, and the discovery schedule is from where you can actually configure and you can run the discovery. So this I'll cover in detail in tomorrow's session, because this has its own set of parameters. I'm just going to walk through the list of modules that we're having in the navigator pane here. Okay, and then we have the status, which is the status of the discovery that has been running or that we are going to run now. Okay, whenever a discovery schedule is run, it will show the status in the status tab. And the credentials, as you already know, it is the set of credentials that we have defined. Okay, so whenever a new domain comes into your organization, or a new set of devices comes into your organization, and you want to, and it is not discoverable, it may be a problem with the credentials. You have to go with the credentials and you have to do that. So that is what the credentials are about. And then we have discovery range sets. So discovery runs primarily from the IP address. So we can have a range, and we can have it in this range sets, and we can refer it in the discovery schedule to run it. Okay, that is the discovery range sets. And then we have mid service. So mid service is the list of servers that will be available. So this is also a very detailed concept, which I'll be taking it in tomorrow's class. Okay, I will show you installation of a mid server itself in tomorrow's class.
Sure.
Yeah,
Mid server installation part is like I'm okay with it, but like I think there is some architecture things which I would be interested in, like in mid servers. Sometimes we install multiple mid servers based on servers or something else, right? So
yeah,
right, we will be covering that too.
yeah, we can. I'll show you installation of multiple mid servers as well. Not a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, and then we have tracked configuration files. So this tracked configuration files is a part of a very new sort of. It's from the Jakarta release, to be frank. So I'll give you a glimpse of it. But in the actual use case, as of now, we are facing a lot of issues with tracked configuration files in our organization. So we have disabled that, just to give you a heads up. Okay, and then we have the outputs and artifacts, which is basically the discovery outputs that we are getting. And then we have discovery definition, which has a lot of configurations. I'll explain you regarding all these stuff in detail. And then we have, you guys are aware of scripting, and which sort of scripting in that case?
JavaScript.
So, okay, so everyone knows the basic JavaScripts, right? And also we require some fundamental knowledge of the server commands, like Windows PowerShell commands, or Unix SSH commands and all that stuff. So we have everything covered out of box, but just to do some custom development, we'll be requiring that.
Sure. I mean, I'm still learning those, PowerShell and Unix a little bit. So.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay, so these are the pros and cons are basically the commands that and how the logic is being established, and all that stuff is there in the backend. So these things will be covered as a part of the custom development. I'll be explaining you the probes and sensors, and then we'll develop a custom probe. That is what the idea that I am working on for this. Okay, and then we have this here classifiers, identifiers, and all that stuff. So here is where we define all those particular stuff. So for example, I just showed you a Unix classification, and inside this we have multiple things like all the things that is being grouped into. Okay, for example, I'm opening a Unix. So you can see the classification criteria and regarding all that stuff. Okay, so this classification, all that stuff comes from ServiceNow, and once we get the classification done, it triggers the probe and the next set of events starts.
So the classification show the classification. So name equals Linux. So can you go back? Sorry.
Okay.
And in the script, in the current short description is equals to output. So so I'm guessing. I mean, in the output you're getting Linux and something like that. And then if the name is equal to Linux, that means it's a Linux classification, like it's a Linux server. That's why.
Yeah, correct. So this is an on classification script, though, which means that once the classification is done, the particular CI's short description will be the output of what we got from the classification.
Okay, got it. So the output is Linux. So once the output is Linux, that means I mean, I'm just guessing. We can do it later. Yeah. We don't have to jump.
Yeah. That's I'm just showing you all this stuff. So this is what the configuration parameters and all that looks like.
Okay. So this is also out of the box. This triggers, whatever the triggers and probes are available, that is out of the box, or we need to create this?
So everything is out of the box as of what I'm showing you now.
Okay.
But we can create custom probes.
Yes, we can. Yeah. And then we have CA identification rules, and we have a lot of configurations here as well. So as I told you before, ServiceNow has introduced a lot of new functionalities in the recent releases. So everything, in case not everything, most of the things what you're seeing as a module here previously were handled as scripts, and it was very tedious. And now they have actually built everything into sort of a tables, and they are referring it from here. Okay.
So basically, each page has a table. Seems like I can see a classification identifier. I mean, I'm just guessing.
Yep. So we have.
It won't be Shazam, obviously. I'm just kind of.
Fine. Yeah, so yes, that is correct. We have a lot of more tables within that tables as well, which is related to other phases as well. Okay. For example, this classification and then the identification is getting is actually linked in the backend. Sorry, this one. It's classification and identification. So, once the classification is done, the identification needs to be triggered. For that, we have a linkage. So all that stuff we have it in the backend. I'll explain you in detail. So, so this was just the basic class where we have done the we have covered the stuff regarding the credential and the discovery process. That's it. So, so everyone is having a laptop to work with, right? Laptop or a system. So from there we can actually configure the MIT server, and that will be taken for the next few days, which we are going to do. So in the same system, I request you all to use the things as well, so that we can have the MIT server up in all your instances. Okay.
Yes, sure. And one thing, Anand, like about this, like after discovery, it will discover all this CIs. So it will create an inventory list, or what will happen after discover?
So after discovery, you will see the list of servers that has been discovered here.
Okay. Then what the organization will use for this? Like they will use for inventory list to be getting an inventory list, or after discovery, what actually the organization will use this?
Okay. Okay. So the whole discovery is being done to keep your CMDB updated and to know and pinpoint issues at a very direct level, and also to see what will be the impact. Okay. So when a discovery runs, it doesn't only capture the CI information; it captures the related information as well. For example, let's say that we are going to have a ESX server, and that is going to host some VMs, or and that VM is going to host some Windows server that is going to have some database in it, and that database is going to support some application, web application. Okay. So in this whole hierarchy, if you see, we will have clusters and many of these things inside. So if one particular thing goes down, what will be the impact of the other thing? For example, if the virtual server goes down, the database will not be available. So the application will fail, right? So this sort of thing that is happening should be actually known to the top management or the person who's working immediately. And for that purpose, we have to have a proper discovery running and to get all those details and keep our CMDB and relationships updated. So this is the main purpose of this, actually.
Okay.
Anand,
And
question.
what is AMDB?
Yeah.
What is AMDB?
No, sorry, CMDB it is.
Oh, no, something called asset management database.
So, okay, so asset management is a different concept altogether. That is not with respect to the discovery and CMDB what we are doing. So that is a different process itself.
Okay.
Will we be covering that or no?
No.
Okay. So, question, Anand. Like I understand that we are doing this because we want to know if one server goes down, what is going to be the impact, so that hire manager can take decisions based on that, right? So,
Yeah.
but does this also like can we do ServiceNow? Use ServiceNow to monitor all these CMDBs as well? Like if something goes down, then a ticket is created and it can be notified to the hire manager.
No, we don't have that sort of feature in ServiceNow, and in fact, from whatever I know, like ServiceNow will not implement will not implement a monitoring tool directly. So we have an event management plugin which will interact with a third-party event management tool to give you details. But directly via ServiceNow we cannot do that because discovery is like scheduled. Scheduled in the sense like it will not keep on running every time. It will just run at some time.
At some time weekly to keep update to update the CMDB basically.
Exactly. So whatever you can schedule, it will run based upon your schedule, but it will not monitor it.
Okay, and for the monitoring, there is something event management module which will actually be integrated with the monitoring tool that can be used. Okay.
Yeah, but that is not a ServiceNow monitoring tool. That is just a management system of events. Let's say that you're going to get alerts or events from other system that the server is going down. Then the event management plugin can be configured to show that alert and highlight it, but not to monitor the server directly.
Got it. Got it.
Okay. Okay, so as of today, I think this is what we can do it. And tomorrow we will be installing the Mid server and we'll be seeing all that stuff. So everyone will be installing Mid server and we can have it in the system to take it forward for the session itself. So if you have any doubts, you can ask it tomorrow, today, and you can also note down certain things and if you want to ask me tomorrow.
So we'll have a class on Monday or tomorrow Sunday, or we'll have a Monday next class.
I think we have to ask Mohammed regarding that.
Okay, Anand. Thank you.
Okay. Mohammed, you there on call?
I don't think so. He's.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, yeah, we can discuss this later, maybe.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So I think once he comes online or something, if he's pinging any of you guys, you can just tell him and ask him like when the session is, and he'll inform you. Not a problem regarding that.
Sure. No, I mean, I have his number, so we keep. So I can ask
Sure.
him.
Okay. Fine. Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, Anand.
Thank you.
Thanks, Anand. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.